The College Basketball Experience Preview and Picks Episode 4, Tuesday, December 13th on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WynnBET. WynnBET's now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100. Get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN Bowl Challenge. $250 in cash and a $250 gift card is up for grabs exclusively on the SGPN app, which is free to download in the App Store or Google Play Store. So grab that thing today. And remember, folks, to let it ride.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo-wee. Welcome to the College Basketball Experience. Oh, Preview and Picks Episode 4. Good old Tuesday, December 13th. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Yes. A little early tonight. A little early. Some games still on. Some lines we don't have that maybe the audience can help us with. We'll get to. I got a comedy show later. We're recording early so I can do the comedy show. I'm the asshole here. Pick Dundee here. Joined by my co-host here. Well, one of our co-hosts. We have a 3-man booth tonight. So give it up for former video coordinator for Bob Huggins at West Virginia University, and Frank Martin at South Carolina, host of the Ryan and Rush Show, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. Sorry to the audience for the Texas lock last night. Obviously, some things have happened today that we didn't foresee happening.
Apparently, just maybe a little bit more than a dust-up.
I was going to say, dust-up's a kind way of putting it.
A little bit more of a dust-up there. Third man in the booth, we got the DFS god himself. Look, I was with him in Wilmington, so shout out to the fans that came out there. But look, we play college basketball DFS each and every day. Folks, hop on in. We tweet it out every single day at TCE on SGPN. Give it up for the DFS god himself, the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, Tobacco Road living, the free lock giving former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's going on, guys?
When we were winning conference titles and going to the Final Four, we were making a statement.
Who's making a statement? I feel like Syracuse fans are probably saying that because they're starting to pull away. They're up 12 now on Monmouth. This thing was all tied up about 2 minutes ago. No, they're up 10. Sorry, 10 on Monmouth. Right now there's a lot of games live. Like I said, we're coming to you a bit early, but we can recap the games that have gone final. And we can start out with the first game that was played was Spalding. Shout out to Spalding. Just waiting for Rawlings to be. That is a college too, isn't it? I feel like Rawlings I've seen as well, but that was also a clothing company / they would
apparel.
They would make footballs and basketballs. I feel like.
Is that in Kansas?
Perhaps. I think there is like a D2 or D3 school called Rawlings. They need to play each other. Spalding against Rawlings. That'd be great. Hey, you know what? And I think there's Champion too. Didn't we Didn't we preview or we were recapping a game where they beat Champion Christian?
Champion Christian definitely is a school. I
So
remember
we got
them.
Spalding, Rawlings, and Champion. This is fantastic.
Yeah, we'll play those games in Dayton.
Yeah, we just need Under Armour next. Under Armour University. Sacred Heart beat. No, I'm sorry. Sacred Heart blew their lead at one point. We were watching this. I took Sacred Heart here. They were up 9 at halftime. I think they had this thing up to about 13, and they lose by 7. How does that happen? Did you guys catch any of this? I know it wasn't the biggest game on the slate, but hey, shout out to Stony Brook because they've been terrible this year. I know they got some nice players in the portal, and I thought they were going to be pretty solid, but they've been terrible so far. Maybe they're finding their way here. What do you make of the Seahawks there, Moneyline Mac?
I was surprised because all three of us were on Sacred Heart, and I mean they were up by as many as I think 12 in the first half. I thought we were on the right side. Kind of collapsed in the second half. So good win for the Sea Wolves.
Yeah, I said Seahawks, Sea Wolves, Sea whatever, Sea Dragons.
And you guys also, I mean, they played Yale tight 2 games ago, also only losing by 5. Sandwiched in between today and Yale was a blowout loss at Bryant, but perhaps they're getting a little bit better. I was on the wrong side of this too. I didn't watch it. I didn't clear my schedule to catch this one, but I was kind of following along on my phone, and I thought I was good seeing that halftime score. But the Stony Brook outscored Sacred Heart 47-31 in the second half.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, just brutal there. Brutal. That halftime speech must have been epic because you're going to let Sacred Heart come in here and beat you. You guys got no heart, all right? And they got it done. They woke up. They woke up and got it done. The next one was hilarious because, you could find most of these games on, ESPN Plus, ESPN 3. Sometimes you use the what is the other one that CAA conference has? I forget the name of it. It's an app, Flow Sports. But South Alabama was playing at Alabama A&M, and I had to go deep into the interwebs to find this one. Ended up finding Alabama A&M's website, and they're like, watch the game live. Normally that pushes you to like an ESPN 3. No, flat out YouTube. Shout out to that. Not even YouTube TV, YouTube.
Straight YouTube, like this.
Yeah, and Alabama A&M was catching 10.5. They covered. South Alabama wins by 7. We were all on A&M, I believe. We almost locked it. I feel like we were talking about locking it last night. South Alabama was in a more desperate spot. They got the dub. But Alabama A&M chippy. And I've noticed that about a lot of the SWAC teams this year, I feel like. Whether it's Grambling, whether it's I feel like Southern is decent. They've been kind of covering machines to a certain extent. Do you guys get any eyes on this one? I'm assuming not because I had to really go deep to find this one.
No, but this was another scoreboard watching game for me where I think South Alabama at one time was up 34-13 or something. They were up 20 early. So another team that battled back. And like you said, the SWAC has been a little feisty as an underdog this year and covering some bigger numbers.
Yeah, their program, I think, is getting better. Kevin Samuel was a TCU transfer, had 20 points, 8 boards for the Jaguars.
Yeah, this was almost the opposite of the first game where I thought early on, I was like, why the hell did I, pick Alabama A&M? But sure enough, they outscored South Alabama by 9 in the second half and secured that cover for us. So nicely done.
Yeah, and I got to apologize for the guess. We got this next one correct, but we backed off of a lock. And if you follow the SGPN picks page, if you get the app, which is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store, Columbia, I wrote this on the money line. Plus 300 on tally side. I just wish we would have locked it up. Columbia wins by 12 against Lafayette. They were 8.5-point dogs. What the hell was I missing? We all took this one. We should have just been. We were right there. We were halfway there locking it. I think I even played the fucking music and then I backed off because I saw Lafayette's schedule. And I was like, well, maybe they're just better than what we realized. The Lions are improving. Yes. Columbia was on auto fade. I don't think we put them on auto fade. I think they're out of auto fade.
No, they're definitely not on auto fade anymore. I mean, they took Dickinson Friday night right down to the wire. Game went to overtime. They were competitive with UMBC. They really got on track and turned their season around when they beat Sarah Lawrence by 41 points. That's what turned it around.
Hey, she has got a crossover that
she's got handles.
I'm
not talking about love handles.
Oh man,
dude, this game was never in doubt. The last lead Lafayette had was 5-4 at the very beginning of the game, and Columbia was getting 8 points. I mean, this was an easy cover if there ever was one. I think like late in the first half, Lafayette cut it to 2, but that was as close as they got through the rest of the game here. So, yeah, chalk it up as another W, boys.
Yeah, and that one, just easy play there. And by the way, yeah, shout out to IUPUI. They did beat Spalding. The Spalding thing kind of we went in a different direction, but yes, they beat Spalding. Hopefully the check doesn't bounce. Get the pun. Yale goes into Fairfield. Now this one we locked up, and
everybody did.
This one, the sweat was a little. I want to say Fairfield opened up to like a 17-4 lead. 17-4 lead, and you're sitting there like, we knew this line smelled, but no. Turns out Yale got their shit together. They're a really good team, and hopefully you listen to us on this one because this was easy cash. Easy cash. Not in the first half. If you bet the first half, though, you're a fucking maniac. Did you guys get eyes on this one at all?
Yeah, no. Yale was without their best player and battled back. I went down. I think we talked about in the pre-show, Nick, that we saw that score. What was it, 23-10, and we're like, oh shit, we're on the wrong side of this one. But used a big run in the second half to get this done. It's rare that all 6 of us will lock up the same game on the picks page. So when I saw that, I go, oh shit.
I got nervous in the second half there. Like, we saw the line come down, and perhaps that was due to the injury. But in the second half, after Yale kind of pulled away, Fairfield was starting to come back. And they went like 8 minutes without a field goal. But they were calling a whistle on Yale like every possession, some questionable whistles. So I'm like, man, if I lose this thing, this is kind of feeling a little fishy here. But sure enough, Fairfield just didn't have the offense to hang with Yale. And Yale's playing good ball, But, Fairfield, one of my favorite players, Supreme Cook. If you remember talking about him last year, Colby.
Yeah.
Well, one of the best names in the country. Supreme Cook. He put up 17 tonight for Fairfield, but it wasn't enough.
Supreme Cook or Oklahoma's backup quarterback, General Booty. I mean, that's a good battle right there.
I think General Booty wins that, but
there was also New Hampshire, who needs every win they can get, and they were actually struggling a little bit early on this one, but they did beat St. Joe's, Maine by 43. I don't know about St. Joe's, Maine, never heard of them before. And I will say we just had Little Rock grab a much-needed win by 29 against Philander Smith. Other scores right now, Louisiana's up 30 on Louisiana College. Rice and Texas are tied up with 8 minutes left.
Woo!
Gentlemen,
Go Owls.
NC Nick, did you lock this?
No, I took Rice.
Okay.
I took the points. Didn't lock it, didn't bet it, but even before I heard the news, I took the points because I thought Rice has been solid this year, and I thought Texas was going to obviously easily win this game, but I thought it was just a hair too many points. So obviously I got lucky with everything that has transpired. But hey, chalk it up as a W.
And I feel like we should stop. I mean, we lock this. We're going to eat shit on this one. But we should talk about the bigger picture for a second. Texas is a national championship contender. This could be catastrophic. This could be I was thinking they're going to win the after watching, first month of basketball, I was like, they're going to win the Big 12. We were wrong. I think me and Moneyline Mac were calling for either Kansas or Baylor. Mm-hmm. After watching Texas for the first month, I was like, they look like the best team. But you let this happen now, and I don't know that Chris Beard ever coaches another game for Texas. What do you think this team would? You think this is still a tournament team? You think this is like they'll get their shit together? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they got enough talent still to get to the dance, but I mean, now this is when they need Chris Beard more than ever when they're entering league play in the best league in America, or you got to play the true round robin where everybody headed into Big 12 play. You can make an argument has an NCAA tournament resume in the Big 12. And it's an unforgiving league. And I mean, Texas right now, if they do pull this game out, they're 8-1. There's no guarantee they're going to pull this game out. I mean, they're tied at the under 8-minute mark.
This would be a critical loss. I mean,
yeah,
Rice is not setting the world on fire in the CUSA yet. But this would be one that really hurts that resume.
I think it's probably premature to think about what might happen to Beard, whether or not he, gets fired or his legal issues. But we did read the police report, and it doesn't sound good. That's all I'll say. I think we all believe in innocent until proven guilty, but all I know is it does not look like a good situation. But I think Texas is definitely still a tournament team. But with Beard, their ceiling was certainly Final Four. So it's a huge blow.
Yeah. I'm just saying with that, this is a weird era. You see this all the time. Like, whether, a coach goes or something, or they know the coach is going to go. I feel like the Miami Hurricanes football team is a perfect analogy. A lot of times you see them quit over the years when they've known that something on the horizon, they're going to fire, this Al Golden or whoever, Manny Diaz. You see this a lot where you see super talented teams kind of quit with the scenario. That's the only reason why I was saying maybe they don't make the tournament, especially if you start out with a loss to Rice.
They are a veteran team, though. You would hope the veterans like Carr and Allen, maybe they can come together. Maybe there's an assistant coach who has a great reputation with the team, and who knows. But there's certainly the potential of things derailing quickly.
Yeah, the guy that's taken over, Rodney Terry, he was the head coach at Fresno State and UTEP, so he does have a background, but we also know kind of from the football side of things with Texas, they do have a reputation of being a bunch of fucking front runners. So, like, if it's
they're
not
all
going
paid.
well,
they kill it in the portal. All those players are paid. So that
Yep.
what do they care? What do they care at that point? They're like, wait,
No
we're getting
doubt.
on,
Very true.
All right, well, we'll see how that game ends. Monmouth and Syracuse. Syracuse is only up 14 now. I mean, I guess that's relieving if you're an Orangeman fan. But
is there a chance to cover? What were we laying 22 or so? Was that what it was?
5 minutes left. There's still a chance. I would say 5 minutes left. Liberty is actually down 11 to Oral Roberts. I took Liberty. I don't know what you guys did. That's pretty. I mean, I knew that was a far trip, but I thought Liberty was the better basketball team. So I'm a little shocked at that outcome. How about you guys, Nick?
I was on Bob Roberts. I did think I thought it was a very tough road trip, and like we were saying beforehand, Ryan was saying it was a great guard matchup between McGee and Abmas. So far, Abmas with 26, McGee with 24. Ace Smith, whatever. You know who I'm talking about. Max. It looks like, and this game was neck and neck. It was just a very late pull away for Oral Roberts. So I'll take it.
Yeah. How about you, Moneyline Mac? Did you get? I mean, you took Liberty with me, right?
I rode Liberty with you. We almost locked this, but we last second held off. I think we both like the culture of Liberty. Richie McKay. Defense travels, but I mean, they've given up 80+ tonight.
But the Flaming Libs in Oklahoma, it's just a bad matchup, right?
Flaming Libs, that's not their neck of the woods.
we have money riding on South Florida, Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa is laying 3. They're currently down 4, 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. That's still potential for us to get it to overtime, perhaps, and get some magic, but we're probably going to eat shit there. Yeah. Northern Iowa, I think we got it. I think we can never bet them again. I think this team's not good. I know me and NC Nick caught their game over the weekend, and
it's pathetic, man. They had at least 8 different shots for a game winner because they kept on getting either an offensive rebound or a turnover, and they couldn't hit any of them. And so when I saw that, I'm with you guys. I picked Northern Iowa also. I was like maybe bounce back spot at home. But, it certainly doesn't look like I'll be picking them anytime soon.
They have nobody at the game tonight either. I always remember Northern Iowa as one of the better home atmospheres in the Missouri Valley. Nobody's at this game tonight.
I'm telling you, that program, though, over the past couple of years, whether it was A.J. Green leaving, whether it was Carter going to Missouri, I think they had another transfer that transferred out. But then a couple of years ago, I think they lost their leading scorer to Creighton. They have been just picked apart, and I just think I wouldn't be surprised if they might perhaps made a move. I don't think they should from the coaching point of view, but
what was that run they went on like 10 or 12 years ago? Was it
Elite
Elite
Eight? I
Eight?
think it was Elite Eight.
Did they knock off
Kansas?
Kansas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They beat Texas in that, or maybe that was who got them. Was it Texas that got
They
them?
beat they beat Texas in a different one, the half court shot.
Okay, yeah,
against Shaka, and then they blew a 15-point lead with like a minute left against A&M.
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
they should have been in the Sweet 16. They kind of got killed by the COVID year. That was their best team, and the season got canceled. They were 1 seed in the Missouri Valley. They were going to the tournament. So, kind of bad breaks here with the portal and then the COVID year.
Well, more bad breaks might be happening for old Pick Dundee here because he laid, 28 with Gonzaga?
I'm with you on that one.
We're up by 6 at half.
Yeah, Rob Donaldson in the chat said we're going to need to talk about Gonzaga and them just not being that good. I think there's something to that.
Well, this is actually disgusting because do I need to tell you that Northern Illinois lost by 37 to Idaho? Do I need to tell you that Northern Iowa put it on Northern Illinois as well? Do I need to tell you that Illinois Springfield, a D2 or D3 school, beat Northern Illinois? This is not good for business here. I don't know what is happening in Spokane there.
Currently 308th on Ken Palm is Northern Illinois. That's wild.
Dude, this what's up with Gonzaga?
I don't think their guards are very good. I think it's the guard play.
How do they I don't understand it. Like it's Gonzaga. You've built yourself into this brand. You can pretty much get anybody. The NIL is playing a factor there. That's what brought, I think, Malachi Smith and Drew Timme back. This is concerning. Creighton, Ryan Kalkbrenner is out for Creighton, and we were talking about this just before we hit record because Arizona State's up 6 at halftime. Creighton better watch out.
Yeah.
We were talking there, so they're sitting there at 6-4. They have if they lose this, they'll be 6-5, and then they're at Marquette next in 4 days. You're talking about 6-6. Then they're home to Butler. I don't know that they're better than Butler. You're talking about a situation as pretty much at that point, Big East play's begun. I don't know. I think this could be. I mean, this was a preseason top 10 team. Nick, what's your thoughts on the Blue Jays, and what do you think? Like, you think they will see their way out of this? And
still a long way to go here. I think they can withstand a mid-season, early season dip as long as they get healthy and start winning some games in the Big East. I don't think there's extreme cause for concern right now, but with that said, whoever if they do lose this game, they better win some pretty quickly here to end December on at least a decent note before the new year starts. I was on Arizona State here. I thought about locking up and betting it. I refrained, kind of wishing I did right now.
I'm a bit surprised. Arizona State will probably end up on the bubble too, so this game could be critical if Creighton ends up a bubble team, perhaps. South Dakota State's beating Mount Marty. Marty Schottenheimer started at the university. They're only up by 8 in the first half, and we have a bunch of other games. Obviously, the key game: New Mexico, San Francisco. Kennesaw State, there's still opportunity to bet Kennesaw plus 19.5, folks. Get in there and bet that. It's one of my locks. And San Diego Christian taking on UC Santa Barbara, and UC San Diego taking on San Diego. And those games have not tipped off yet, but it's and by the way, our game balls will be happening at the end of the episode, so we'll have more outcomes. And let's enter today's action. But before I do, let's play some music here. Let's go this one.
Just out of school, like a real cool. Gotta dance like a fool. Got the message and I gotta be a wild one. Oh yeah, I'm a wild one.
Yes, it is a wild one. We have college basketball. For me, starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow, when Bethel College takes on UT Martin. 9 a.m. What do I got to do? Eat my Apple Jacks and watch some Bethel and UT Martin.
I actually do. Bethel is in Tennessee. We played them at Austin P. They're not bad.
Okay.
It might be a ball game.
If you can find a line out there, first off, I'm impressed.
Speaking of lines, we can't even get D1 lines. Can we talk about that for a second? It is 10 o'clock Eastern time, and we have maybe, a third of tomorrow's lines? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's almost 2023, okay?
I have good news for you, buddy.
You got
They're
some?
asleep at the wheel.
I got them all, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Do ya? All right.
See what happens? I bought some time talking about Spalding University, and then the lines drop, baby. So if sometimes you just think I'm doing shtick. No, I'm fucking buying time to actually bet the games and talk about the games.
So with if I can talk, with most of these lines, this is going to be initial reaction then.
Yes, all of this.
I think there was 11 lines that came out maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours ago. So we were able to digest that a little bit. These ones here, it's going to be initial reaction. Definitely. Let's do it.
Yeah, Nick, I'm just curious, Nick, are you going to be able to throw on, it's noon your time, Bethel and UT Martin, ESPN Plus?
I can definitely do that. No, I can't. I'll be driving up to Virginia tomorrow. Never mind. I'll be traveling for work.
Oh, all right. Because Mid-Lutheran Omaha is also taking off. I was going to ask you which one you were more excited about between Bethel, Tennessee, and UT Martin, and Mid-Lutheran and Omaha.
I like an in-state battle. I like an in-state battle. And I don't know if Midland University is in Nebraska or not. So let's go with the first one.
Yeah. There we go. All right. First game that you can bet on. We got lines, baby. Longwood heads to New York City to take on St. Francis up there in Brooklyn. Longwood's 5-5. St. Francis is 4-5. Longwood's laying 9. A lot of points for a 500 team to be laying at Daniel Lynch Gymnasium. Actually, Daniel Lynch 38 Gymnasium. I'm assuming it was built in 1938. Probably not. It's New York City. That shit was probably built like a week ago. Anyway, this game, interesting, and from this angle, Longwood top 150 in pace. St. Francis 283rd in pace. St. Francis is 332nd in shooting the 3-ball. Oh no, I'm sorry. 332nd in field goal percentage. Meanwhile, Longwood is 43rd in field goal percentage. These teams not offensive juggernauts. I mean, Longwood, I'm sorry. Not St. Francis. 309th offensive rating. I'm going to lay the points. What are you doing here, Nick?
I think I'm with you. If you look at St. Francis, their only Division I wins are St. Peter's, Delaware State, and Hartford. Those last two are probably bottom 5 teams in all of D1. And meanwhile, Longwood, I mean, they're 161st in Ken Palm compared to 346th. Longwood's clearly the better team. The question is, are you going to lay that many points on the road? St. Francis, their last game out, they only lost to UMass Lowell by 9 on the road. But yeah, I'm with you. Lancers, Longwood, lay the points.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm joining you guys. I'm laying the points with Longwood. Much better team. St. Francis, like you said, one of the probably top 20 worst teams in Division I. So I'll lay the points. Longwood's got a decent program.
Yeah, they do. Back to the days of Jerome Kersey, Portland Trailblazer. He almost had a championship like 20 times, I feel like. Pistons, Lakers. Oh, no, not Lakers. Who they play? Bulls when Jordan did the VMI. VMI. Remember when we thought they were just absolute dog shit and then they just whooped Radford's ass?
I know. And Navy.
Yeah, watch out. VMI, SoCon, represent. They traveled to Washington, D.C. to take on AU. That's American University. I mean, do I just need to play this song here? Because when you're playing American University. Fight for your life. Well, Americans laying 11.5 points. It comes crashing down and it hurts inside. 11.5 points? You know, AU is 7-2 with wins over Georgetown and George Washington. Who's the best team in DC? Hilarious. Tell me they got
played.
Howard on the schedule. Tell me they got Howard on the schedule. I don't see it yet, but they also beat William and Mary. I mean, this team's owned in DC and Mount St. Mary's, which is in Maryland. Oh, man, I feel like it's too many points. I'm taking VMI. I thought about locking it. but VMI has cost me a couple times this year. It's not VMI with Dan Earl last year where I could trust it. I could trust it night in, night out. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Again, I agree with you. Even though American has won 7 straight, so they lost the first 2 games of this season, have reeled off 7 in a row, and VMI has yet to win on the road. But still, I think it's too many points. I don't think it's a money line play. I think American gets the dub, but I'll take the points.
Money line, Mac.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you guys. I think it's too many points, but I can't lock up VMI just because they haven't proven it on the road. Obviously, they're good at home with their wins over Navy and Radford. So I'll take the points, though. Too many.
Johnny Football's locking it up. Somebody's a man on the podcast.
There we go. He said, "Who is America to be laying 11.5?"
That's a good point. I mean, it's a good point. Get the SGPN app. That might be a lock for old Dundee. NC Nick, you're going to be up in the Virginia, D.C. area. You have your choice of going to that great VMI American game or this next one. Coppin State and Juan Dixon heading to D.C. to take on the Colonials. They will always be the Colonials. And George Washington. George Washington's laying 8. Who wants to lock this with me? Who wants to do it?
Which direction are you going?
I'm going Coppin. Coppin should have covered against ECU. ECU is better than George Washington. I think we take the 8 points in Coppin. I also think there's the little brother angle. Coppin should have. ECU won by 9 against Coppin, but Coppin was winning like 80% of that game, maybe even 90. And then it was a bad beat down the stretch. I actually think Coppin might just flat out be better. I think there's a money line play at plus 285 currently. You might want to consider. Give me Juan Dixon and Coppin State on the road here as the little brother angle. They think, 8-10 bye game. You'll see Rothstein tweeting this. Who's coming with me?
I'm coming with you. I'm locking up Coppin State. Let's go.
There we go.
Sprinkle some on the money line.
Shout out to Larry Stewart. And who was the better pro, Nick? Larry Stewart or Yankadare? I think Larry Stewart was, right?
Yeah, I mean, Yankadare was awful as a pro. So Larry Stewart for sure.
I still think today's NBA, Alexander Cool and the gang would have been better than them all. All right.
You gotta love Baltimore versus DC though, and you got the nation's 3rd leading scorer in Sam Sessoms for Coppin State. That's enough for me for the cover, but I think I'm going to stay away from actually betting this, guys. You guys are on your own.
Crazy bastard. All right, let's take it back to Raleigh, where, look, you should be at this game. I think you got to call out sick. You got to call it. It's that simple. That's simple. Furman.
Sniffles.
Yeah. Furman heads into what do they call NC State Stadium? PNC Arena. PNC Bank. I see what they did there.
PNC Park.
Real original.
They sold out for the dollars.
They did. And not the wins, believe it or not. Furman's getting 6 at NC State. Are we sure that NC State's even better than Furman?
You know, I was impressed with NC State in November. They had nice wins over Dayton and Butler and a close loss to Kansas. But then conference play starts in December, and they dropped the first 2 conference games to Pitt and Miami. So, you know, kind of, I guess, similar to Creighton on a smaller scale and not as good of a scale. If things, this season could go off the rails soon, and Kevin Keats could be looking for work soon if they don't start picking up some W's. And it also should be noted that their big man, Dusan Mahorczyk, is out. He just had surgery on his knee. I think he's out for a while now, a month or 2. But, go ahead.
Okay, Furman beat Belmont by 15, right? Furman lost at Penn State by just 5. Penn State, I think, is better than NC State.
Yeah.
Furman beat South Carolina by 19 in Columbia, right? I think we lock up Furman. Am I crazy?
You're not crazy.
No, I don't think you're crazy. I'm going back and forth on this one, whether I want to lock Furman or not. Like you said, NC State, they were impressive in November, but since December, competition got reeled up a little bit here. I mean, all they've done is beat Coppin State in the month of December. It's a sandwich spot as well between two high majors coming off the Miami game, got Vanderbilt and that Louisville game in a little bit. I'll go with you. Let's lock up Furman.
I just think, 6 points. I think Furman could win it outright.
Furman's the side to play. They're the side to play. All right.
Win? Triple lock? Oh, there we go. Let's go. SoCon. Don't sleep on the SoCon, fellas. All right, next up, we got UNC Asheville. Been disappointed with UNC Asheville so far this year. I don't know if they're doing too many whippets up there in Asheville with those hippies, those Carolina hippies, or what. But now they head to South Carolina State, and believe it or not, South Carolina State has covered a lot of games for me this year. I'm shocked when I pull up their resume and they're 1-10 because I'm like, this is the best 1-10 team in America. Just go ahead and say that. Asheville's on the road. They're laying 6.5. This game is at Smith Hammond Middleton Memorial Center. Can we add any more names onto that? Smith Hammond Middleton Rodney Jackson Stadium. UNCA is laying 6.5. Last matchup 2 years ago during the COVID season, Asheville won by 21. I'm going to take Asheville, but I haven't been impressed with them, man. I have not been impressed with them, and I wouldn't be surprised if State gave them a game. I wouldn't be surprised if State beat them.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Moneyline Mac?
So you mentioned it, South Carolina State's 1-10, but this is their first home game of the year. They've played all 11 on the road so far. So the Harlem Globetrotters of the Bulldogs are back in town in Spartanburg. I'm with you, though. I'll probably lean Asheville, but don't feel great about it.
NC Nick?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Drew Pember. He's another one of the, top 10 leading scorers in the nation, the Tennessee transfer for UNC Asheville. I'm going to ride them. I was flirting with the idea of potentially locking it up, but I can't trust them. I'm not going to do that, but I think Asheville's the side.
UMBC heads to Loyola, Maryland to take on Loyola. UMBC's laying 4. Oh, man. So UMBC 7-4, Loyola's 4-7. But Loyola did win the last matchup by 19. This is at the Wrights Arena. I guess I'll lay the 4 with Loyola. Loyola's coming off a game where they only scored 34 points.
I was looking right at that too. I was like, man, can they score more than 34? I mean, double that, they get to 68.
They weren't playing a Power 6 school. They were playing Mount St. Mary's.
Yeah.
They scored 10 points in the first half, 24 in the second half. So they got hot. Maybe they stay hot in this matchup. But Golden Dyke, I love this. Top performer. I'm looking online right now. Top performer is Golden Dyke. So look, they give the best player for each team in the ad for the box score. Golden Dyke, 0 points, 9 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks. They highlighted their best player as the guy that scored 0 points. That's fucking hilarious. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Where that's highlighted as the key guy on their team.
The Golden Dyke.
I mean, they shot 26% from 3. I'm sorry, no, 10% from 3, 26% from the field. This team, I'm starting to feel like maybe we should lock up UMBC, but maybe this line smells a little bit then because, both teams not great defensively. Yeah, Loyola's 340th in offense. Meanwhile, UMBC 69th. NC Nick, you think about locking this one?
No, not at all. I think the line does stink. I think this is a good spot for a home dog because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, UMBC comes in winners of 4 straight. Loyola's dropped 3 straight. I just think maybe the Greyhounds are the more desperate team here. They're at home getting points. I'll go with the dog.
Wow. I'm going to lay the points, but I ain't locking it. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
I'm going to go with Nick here and lean towards the dog. I think it smells. You mentioned it. Loyola, Maryland is in the bottom tier in offense in the country. Scoring 34 for one game will do that to your power rating, I guess. And I think it's a bounce back a little bit. They can't score in the 30s 2 straight games, right?
And, I don't feel confident. I don't feel confident in saying that, but I think you're probably right.
Usually when those county boys come into the city.
Yeah.
Give me the city boys.
Oh man. Greyhound, one of my favorite cocktails. If I sat there and I had to say, hey, what is your favorite mixed drink? Obviously Bloody Mary would come up, but Greyhound is pretty high on that. Pretty high.
What the hell's a Greyhound?
Vodka grapefruit.
Oh, that sounds no. You'd rather have that than like an old fashioned or something.
What do you like? What are you, like a 7-year-old that just doesn't mix well with your medicine? You can't have grapefruit. You can't have grapefruit juice.
I mean, better than an old fashioned vodka and grapefruit.
I put it up there. It's up there. Dude,
That sounds awful.
I don't like an old fashioned if I'm sitting there at the beach. All right. And
so now you got stipulations. You got to be
live
in
at
a
the
certain
beach,
environment.
all right?
Huh?
I live at the beach. So give me some of those. Throw some fruit juices with some vodka.
Ryan says it's Ryan Hassel says it's kind of girly though.
Fair enough. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I'm normally a vodka rocks guy, but I'm saying if you're gonna concoct something with the fruit juices, I would take that over like rum, pineapple, or rum and Sprite or some shit like that. I know Sprite's not a juice, but hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Let's continue on. Southern's. Oh man, I thought about locking this. Southern's catching
Jaguars.
They're catching 20 at Xavier. Xavier's coming off the Skyline Chili Fest, whatever the fuck it's called. Crosstown Chili Fest. So it's a great letdown spot. And meanwhile, Southern is not bad. Southern's 4-5. You look at that resume. Southern, I thought, played pretty damn close against UNLV. UNLV pulled away like final minute of that game in the opener. UNLV won by 10. Then Southern beat Cal, who I guess, I don't know if that's impressive or not, but they're not a bad team. So I'm going to take the Jaguars plus the 20. I'm not going to lock it, though. What are you doing here, Moneyline Mac?
I think I'm going to lean to Xavier. I think they're rolling right now. Don't feel great about it. Too big a number. And shout out to the chat. We're going to overtime in Austin right now, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, let's go, Rice. Our bet's already cooked. Let's go, Rice. Fuck Texas.
I don't think you can cover 25 in overtime.
No, NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, so Southern is not quite as bad as South Carolina State, but they started the year off with a 4-game road trip, which was at UNLV, at Arizona, at St. Mary's, at Cal, which they won that game. They beat Cal, and they're about to embark on another brutal road trip of 6 straight games. But I like your point, Colby. I think it's kind of a letdown spot for Xavier. Potential look ahead too with Big East play starting on Friday. Southern's not bad. I think they're good enough to cover this.
Let's go. North Carolina Central, Lavelle Moton, heading into Baton Rouge, Louisiana. LSU somehow pulled that win out of their ass. They're 8-1. Is that the most phony 8-1 team in America?
Arguably, yes.
Got to be up there.
Well, they were one of the most phoniest football teams too.
That's true. Very true. You look at LSU, they had they somehow found a way to beat Wake Forest. The game before, they only beat UT Arlington by 4. The game before that, they only beat Wofford by 3. They lost to Kansas State in a game. I think they're still arguing about the outcome on that with a questionable call late. They kept single digits with Arkansas State. It was pretty much single digits with UMKC. I think the final score was 11, but it was pretty dicey down the stretch there. Central's getting 14. I'll take the 14. Nick, what you're right there in Raleigh or close to Durham. They call it RDU, Raleigh Durham Airport. You got your eye on you got your pulse on NCC?
I do like Central here. I wish it was a couple more points, and I would flirt with locking it at 14. There's some pause for hesitation, but Central is a top 10 ATS team in the country, 6-1 right now. And you mentioned LSU, some troubles, putting away smaller schools like the 4-point win over UTA or the 3-point win over Wofford. So I'll take another road dog with you.
I mean, Central only lost in Charlottesville by 12. They only lost. Well, they did get their ass whooped at Liberty. I was gonna say they lost in overtime in Boone to App, but I know that's not that great. But only 12 to Marquette in Milwaukee.
Yeah, for sure.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm locking up Central. I think it's too many points.
There we go.
Too many points. I think LSU's a little bit of fraudulent so far.
Moneyline Mac locking up the Eagles. There we go. I like it. The Citadels heading into Chapel Hill. Citadel is 5-4, coming off an 18-point loss to Charleston. Or no, a 22-point loss to Charleston. It's weird. I watched that season opener where Citadel actually was neck and neck with Clemson for a lot of that game. Clemson pulled away very late. But after that, I caught the Citadel. I think they were playing Butler. They just got housed by Butler and Hinkle.
Lost by 47.
Yeah. And I kind of think, this is a little bit of a rebuild there at the Citadel. Man, but 25 is a big number for a team that I have not been trusting. I'm going to lay the points with Carolina, but I don't like it. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, for Carolina, when Georgia Tech came to town over the weekend, it was their first win and first cover since before Thanksgiving. But Baycott is back and healthy now, and I've been taking a lot of dogs so far. Here's one where I will take a home favorite. I've been awful picking UNC so far this year, but I'm going to lay the big number.
Moneyline?
Yeah, no, and the fact that you've been awful picking Carolina means you're happy because they had been losing 4 in a row before this. So it's like my method when I take Kansas. It's good. Yeah. If you miss the pick, Kansas still lost, just like Carolina. But I'll lay the big number here. I think Carolina is going to start playing slowly better.
St. Peter's, oh man, they have been a very hard team to get a read on.
Impossible.
They are heading to Hartford to take on this team that doesn't have a trainer. They don't have a coach. God damn it. I don't even know if they're going to have wood on this fucking court. St. Peter's is laying 8.5. Last time they played, Hartford won. But back then they weren't ditching their basketball program. Oh, man, Hartford just lost by 18 to St. Francis. I feel like this team, they have every reason to quit. They have every single reason to quit. But damn it, I don't know, 8.5. Okay, I'll lay the points. I'll lay the points with Peters. I don't feel good about it. Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm with you. I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to keep fading Hartford from here on out. I think it's easy for them to quit. You pick or choose. Offense, defense, they're 350 plus ranked in both. I mean, this is just a really, really bad team.
NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm with you guys. I mean, it's crazy that one year you make the Elite Eight and the next year you lose 3 straight games to Mount St. Mary's, Fairfield, and St. Joe's, all by double digits. But Hartford is awful. They are on auto fade, so give me St. Peter's.
I'll raise it one higher. It's crazy. Hartford makes their NCAA tournament for the first time ever. And the next year they said, you know what? We're going to get rid of the basketball program and push it to not D2, D3. What the fuck?
Terrible.
You just made your first NCAA tournament and you're doing that. They deserve everything terrible. All right. Everything fucking terrible over there. I'm on St. Peter's, but Marshall heads into UNC Greensboro. Interesting game going on here. UNC Greensboro is another team I've had a hard time really getting, understanding who they are. Marshall, meanwhile, they've been money as long as they don't play Queens. So this game, not at Queens. So they are 0-1 in the state of North Carolina. But Marshall's laying 2.5. Does this game absolutely reek, or is this me?
Potentially. Yeah.
If I was setting this line, it'd be at like 8.5, 9.
Well, right off the bat, you got a 9-1 team going against a 4-6 team. But hey, sometimes, like Patty C says, you got to just dive into the stink, guys, because Marshall has been very impressive. The 10th most experienced team in the country. They've covered 5 straight games. Watch out for that guard, Tavion Kinsley, averaging 21 points per game. And UNCG, other than the close game at Arkansas, the last game out. They've been really disappointing this year. I'm gonna, throw caution to the wind and lock up Marshall minus the 2.5. Let's go Herd.
You sold me. Do we have a triple lock?
We have a triple lock, although it is the third game of a road trip, but hey, they're going to get it done. Let's go Herd.
Oh, yeah, baby. We are Marshall. We are fucking Marshall. Let's go. Plus, Greensboro's like, I don't know that I've ever been to Greensboro, but I feel like it's a nice town. They can take a shower. You know what I mean? They don't have to bring the toothpaste. All right. They're okay. Stonehill. Oh man, please, someone make sense of this one for me. Stonehill's heading to Chestnut Hill. Take on Boston College. This game's at the Silvio Oconte Forum. Why the fuck is BC laying 12.5 points?
Ha! Lock it up.
Do we do it again?
I mean, Stonehill did just lose to the moving company by 11, but the moving company might be better than Boston College.
Boston College 0-5 ATS at home this year.
Why would you? And Stonehill's in Massachusetts. Watch them travel better.
Come on, you going Stonehill or Chestnut Hill? The Stone is going to crush the Chestnut here.
I'm with you. I'm gonna take the points because you look at this. It's like they have a 7-point loss to Quinnipiac. They did get housed by Providence, but Providence is good. I mean, I don't know. They only beat Holy Cross by 2, but you're locking this, Nick?
Let's do it.
All right. I'll go triple lock. Moneyline Mac, you in on this?
I've had success fading BC all year. Let's do it again. Let's go Stonehill.
Let's go. The Skyhawks. This is your Sky Captain coming to you saying, take the points with the Skyhawks. Let's go. Smoke them if you got them. All right. Next up, Dartmouth. Fucking Dartmouth. They're taking on Boston. BU, as they say. BU, they're laying 8. Oh man, Dartmouth. The Dots. They're the Big Green. They suck ass. They just lost to Central Connecticut State by 9. But BU barely squeaked by Marist. Oh man, I just don't feel comfortable laying that big of a number with Boston. I guess give me Dartmouth in the points. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
I'm gonna lay the points. I'm gonna go with the home team. Boston is coming back from a 3-game road trip, 4 out of 5 games on the road. I think they'll be playing better, shooting better in their own gym. I think they win by double digits.
And he's referring to the Case Gym. That's the name of their stadium, Case Gym.
Oh yeah, gets lit in there, baby.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna crack the case open with the dub. What are you doing here, Moneyline Mac?
I'll lean to BU here. No bet here though from me. Just like I'm sure you guys aren't betting this either.
Nope.
Yeah, not betting this one. Next one, the smell is strong. It's really strong. Smell. This might be the smelliest game of the evening. UMass Lowell, who charts, I think, pretty damn high in KenPom. I want to say they're in the top 60. They're only laying 1 at Rhode Island. I mean, UMass Lowell is 11-1, folks.
Yeah.
Rhode Island's 3-7, right? UMass Lowell's only loss is at the rack. A tough place to win by single digits. What the fuck am I missing with this spread? Is it just based on the name UMass Lowell? No one's going to bet on them. They're just going to take Rhode Island. Is that the angle here? I don't understand it. UMass Lowell, 38th in the country in pace. Rhode Island, 239th. I know that doesn't tell, but let's dive deeper. 3rd in the nation in field goal percentage, UMass Lowell. 332nd in field goal percentage, Rhode Island. Oh, 3-point shooting team. Who's the better team? Lowell. Free throw shooting team. That's the only advantage that Rhode Island would have. Rebounding. UMass Lowell is 14th in the nation. Meanwhile, Rhode Island 116th. I mean, you go through all the analytics here. It's hard to make a case. UMass Lowell's got the 11th ranked defense, the 57th best offense. Meanwhile, Rhode Island's 320th in the nation in offense. Why are we not locking this? Should we lock this, guys?
Yeah. No, I think that the number's short just because of Rhode Island's bigger name versus UMass Lowell. You look at it and you go, UMass Lowell's a favored over Rhode Island, the Rams. I'm going to lock it up. Give me the River Hawks.
Triple lock, Nick? Are you in?
No. This is where I'm going to jump off the stink boat. I'm going to go Rhode Island. I mean, you guys are right. I mean, there's really no reason for this, but sometimes you just have a feeling about a home dog, even though they're a very, very tiny home dog. We're talking Chihuahua here, but I'll take Rhode Island.
A lot of people think Odell Beckham was on that stink boat. He hasn't been very good since that stink boat.
That's right.
I'll lock it with you, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, they're battle tested. They've been on the road already.
I can't take this Rhode Island team. They suck ass too.
Terrible. And you look at Lowell. I mean, they've won at UMass. They went to the rack and went toe-to-toe with Rutgers as well. I mean, they're battle tested. So I think they go in and get another quality road win.
Fairleigh Dickinson's heading into Richmond, Virginia, where the Spiders just looked like the best team in the nation the other night. They made, what the hell was that? They just destroyed Drake. It's NC Nick's been to the stadium, Robin Center. The Robin
nice stadium.
Center. I was always a Batman guy myself, but NC Nick as a kid, big fan of Robin. Big fan of Robin.
If anybody in our family was Batman, it was me, and you were Robin, buddy.
No, I was definitely the Joker, dude.
Good point. You are a comedian, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? We got another brother. He's Robin, right? Fairleigh Dickinson, not bad. 6-6. Got that 2-point win against NJIT, the Highlanders. Talks like this. They're getting 16 at Richmond. I'm taking Fairleigh Dickinson. Nick, what are you doing here?
It's just like Richmond to kind of sleepwalk through this game after a big W. They're the better team. They're at home, but I think it's too many points. I'll ride with you.
Dude, I almost think we should bet this too.
I'm not doing that, no.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing?
I'm too hesitant on this one. I'm starting to like what I'm starting to see from the Richmond Spiders. I think they're getting better slowly. Huge win over Drake by 30. Could be a letdown, but I mean, Dickinson, they've struggled away from home. Although they did win at Columbia.
I see the chat. I see the chat go, my book just disappeared, the Marshall line. Poof, it was gone.
Oh, man. We moved the number.
They're probably watching, man. I see we have 23 live people watching. They're all books. They're all books, man. Princeton at Iona. This game's fantastic. One of the best games of the night. Iona's laying 6. So this is interesting because you have Princeton 8-2, Iona 6-2, but Iona's looked really good lately. And that's why I'm going to ride that momentum of Rick Pitino, the Minuteman or the second man himself. I'm laying the 6 against the Ivy. Moneyline Mag, what are you doing here?
I'm locking up Pitino. Let's go.
Locking it up?
That's my team. That's
I'm locking it with you.
Okay, yeah. I'm in. Let's go. I'm in. Sold. Just like that. Give me the Gaels of Iona.
Yeah, guys, couple quick nuggets on this. Iona 4-0 ATS at home, so that they're playing well. Princeton strength of schedule 328th. So while they do have a gaudy record of 8-2, they've been fattening up on a bunch of cream puffs. Their best win is versus Drexel, who was 197th on KenPom. So I think Iona at home here, only 6. Yeah, lock it up.
Yeah, and shout out to if you know Iona basketball, they have the original Sean Green. You know what I mean? Former Indiana Pacer Sean Green played for Iona, Oak Hill Academy.
That's right.
Yeah, originally from Santa Monica, California. Shout out to the OG Sean Green. I guess you could say the baseball player too, but I don't know which one's older. Next up, we go the airport. Catching a flight to DC to take on Howard. FIU's laying 3. Give me Howard. Upset special here. Taking the 3. Ride the money line. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'll ride with you. This is Howard's first home game in about a month, and FIU is 0-2 straight up on the road this year. I think that continues. Give me Howard.
I see Texas survives against Rice.
Oh, damn.
Bastards.
What are you doing in this Howard game, Moneyline Mac?
I'm gonna take the Bison with you guys. Ride the money line. It's like you said, first home game. Get up spot. FIU doesn't want to go into DC and play Howard the Bison.
Yeah. Southern Miss heading into Lamar. Southern Miss 9-1. Brett Favre has built this program into something dominant. All right. This is at the Montage Center. The Montagny Center. I don't know what the fuck this is. These teams just played on December 10th.
Southern Miss won by about 100.
Saturday.
Yeah.
They won by 46. This line's at 15. I'll lock it. Give me the Golden Eagles minus 15. Take all that winnings. Buy some Wrangler jeans. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
I don't see why not. I mean, if you look at Lamar, look, they played TCU close, lost by 11. Played Texas State close, lost by 10. But no, I mean, Southern Miss is rolling here. Obviously, the back-to-back game thing, it's like the COVID year. It's kind of crazy, but I don't see why anybody should go with Lamar. So I'm with you. I'll lock it up. Sure.
Triple lock?
Triple lock. Let's go Eagles.
Yes. Where's my sound? Where's my sound drop here? Sorry, I'm having way too much fun with the soundboard. Next up, Prairie View heads into Chicago, as my father says when he says Chicago. Prairie View's catching 5 at UIC. Prairie View might be the better team here. Give me the 5 points. Look, Prairie View's not bad. They only lost to Northwestern by 10. You look back at they beat Washington State by 11. Give me the 5 points. I think they can play with them. They only lost to Rice by 8. Rice is quality. Meanwhile, UIC is pretty decent too, but I just think this is it's probably going to come down to the final possession. Give me Prairie View. Give me PV. Shout out to Park View. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I think I'm with you. I mean, this is the 7th straight road game for Prairie View. Now, granted, they didn't have to go that far because they were at Northwestern on Sunday and just a 10-point loss. I guess you start worrying about this really long road trip and if they have any legs under them. But I'll go with you.
Money line?
Yeah, no, I'm going to ride with you guys as well. I think Prairie View, just another one of those HBCUs in the SWAC that has just been good against the number this year. They've been competitive, gave Northwestern a game, gave UTSA a game, and should have beat Tennessee Martin outright as well. I'll ride Prairie View with you guys.
I feel like there should be a documentary on like 10 of these schools that are poorer schools, and they have to go and play like 15 straight road games every year. They should have a documentary about the finances of that athletic department and what these basketball teams have to do and how can these guys be student athletes whatsoever. I don't know if they're freaking jet setting across the country. It's just interesting.
Can you imagine if St. John's had to start the season with 2 months on the road?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just naming a random school,
right?
But it's pretty remarkable what they do.
Nobody's talking about it really either.
I know.
They're the Globetrotters.
Yeah, they really are.
Just keep going next town to next town. Yeah, no, right. It's crazy. A lot of them are just playing their first home games now at the end of the fall semester.
And the Globetrotters didn't have to study for that physics exam either.
True. That's true. Green Bay heading to take on the Tommies. 2-8 Green Bay. This one's at Shoenecker Arena. Great name. Nobody goes into Shoenecker and gets a dub. Shoenecker sounds like a candy bar. St. Thomas is 8-4. They're laying 13 points. The Phoenix. Can the Phoenix rise in Minnesota?
I was getting ready to say they're finally showing our boys some respect with that number. Man,
do you know St. Thomas has the number 22 offense in America?
Wow.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're efficient offensively. I've watched them a couple times. Other than the Utah game, they've been good in every single game so far this year, or competitive at least.
You know, Green Bay has the number 353rd offense. That's almost the worst offense in the country.
Their defense isn't much better either.
I'm going to lay the points with the Tommies. I think the Tommies are going to put it on them. NC Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if you look at the teams that, basically on Green Bay's level that St. Thomas has played, well, they beat Chicago State by 22. They beat Brooklyn, St. Francis Brooklyn by 36. So, yeah, I think you get stomped when you go into the Shoenecker.
What are you doing, Moneyline?
Tommies are going to put it on them. Let's go.
I'm not locking it. You locking it?
No, we can't lock the Tommies as 13. You know, they got to be back in their role. They're like the Detroit Lions. We got to get them back in their role as a dog, and then we'll ride them. This is too much to lock up.
I think we should consider locking this one, though, because Mississippi Valley State, they're heading into good old Charles Koch Arena. You could just smell the racism. All right. I mean, it's amazing that the Koch brothers, by the way, Wichita State alums. Look, Koch brothers, if you want to do something good, bring back the football program. All right, we might ignore your.
You got the money.
Your check your pass. All right, Bill Parcells, part of your alumni. Come on, you got the name. Let's go. Get this thing going. Mississippi Valley State's 1-9, guys. They just lost by 30 to Mississippi State. This is a 26-point spread. But Wichita is just 5-4. They need to take care of business at home against these teams. They beat Central Arkansas by 24. I think Central Arkansas is better than Mississippi Valley State. They did lose to Alcorn State, though, surprisingly, somewhere in there. Do we lock up the Shockers? I'm taking the Shockers, but do we lock it is the question. NC Nick?
I mean, I'm definitely taking them too. If you look at Mississippi Valley State, they've only broke 60 points twice in 10 games this year. You make an interesting case. I mean, usually I pick these, large spreads rather quickly. I don't really even consider locking it, but you make a strong point. I don't know. I'll think about it.
Moneyline Mac, can you convince us? Let's see if you can pull a Bruce Pearl, pull a used car salesman, and sell us on this one.
I mean, I'm definitely on the Wichita State side. I just like looking at Wichita State, what they've done. They struggle to score at times. That's the problem where I don't want to lay 26 with them in a lock situation. Because, I mean, yeah, like they go through scoring droughts, but like the chat is saying right now, Mississippi Valley State is terrible.
They might be the worst team in the nation.
Yeah, them in Hartford.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm laying the points. Get the SGPN app, folks. North Carolina A&T, Terrell Furman's boys, heading into Houston, Texas. Take on Calvin Sampson's bunch. A&T's catching 30 in Houston. I'm laying the points. Houston's coming off the loss. I know the last time they played, Houston only won by 4, but that was 11 years ago. That was a different team. Drexler might have still been coaching the fucking team. I don't remember. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
I agree, man. I think bad timing to be the Aggies of A&T. I think Houston, that losing that home game to Alabama, they come back, with a vengeance Tuesday.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll lock this one up. This is Houston off of their first loss. They're going to put it on. They'll win by 40.
Take the Cougars minus 30. It's not working out for us so well tonight with our big numbers.
No.
But it's easy to see a tide turn sometimes. Eastern Washington's heading into Lubbock. E-Dub is catching 17.5. This is at United Supermarkets Arena. Isn't that great? Who would have thought? Whole Foods, Albertsons, Safeway, Giant Eagle.
Don't forget your butter.
Harris Teeter, all getting together as one.
Hold on. Isn't the Boise Stadium Albertsons?
That's true. Maybe they're not part of it. Maybe it's everybody else. Maybe it's everyone else against them. All right. Trader Joe's got in on there. They got in on that action. Eastern Washington's 4-6. Texas Tech 6-2. But Texas Tech's had some close calls at home. Even though they have that great home court advantage, they only beat Nichols by 7. And that game was closer than that score indicates.
That La Tech game was a single-digit win as well.
I'll take the points and E-Dub. What are you doing here, Nick?
Agreed.
Moneyline Mac?
Yeah, no, kind of the same logic as Wichita State, where they kind of struggle to score at times. But I think they've had a big layoff here, 6 days in between games. I'll take the Red Raiders.
Next up, we got Chicago State, our boys, heading into, what is this? Where the fuck is this? Murray, Kentucky. Wasn't sure if it was a different city. This is at the CFSB Center.
Bring your membership.
Yeah, CFSB 20. I use CS. It sounds like a fucking skin protection. You know, suntan.
Yeah.
Chicago State's getting 14.5. I'm on my boys. I'm taking the 14.5, and I might lock this by tomorrow morning. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm taking the points. I'm not even going to consider locking it. I think, Steve Prom's second stint as the head coach at Murray State has been kind of up and down. They beat Texas A&M, they beat Tulsa, but they're just 5-4 currently with a couple overtime wins in December. So it seems like they play every game close. And Chicago State is no longer one of the worst teams in D1. And that was evident a couple weeks ago when they only lost at Marquette by 14. So I do like Chicago State to cover.
Let's go. Unfortunately, I don't have a line on American Indian College against Utah Valley. Next up, Texas. But give me Geronimo in the points. If you find the line, give me Geronimo in the points.
I think Eduardo Najarra is the head coach.
Oh, he's a fucking man.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Okay. Texas A&M Corpus Christi is heading into Arizona, taking on the Wildcats. Wildcats are laying 22.5. Corpus Christi's not horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Corpus Christi. No, I'm not. Give me Arizona minus 22.5. What are you doing here, Nick?
The only potential thing is that this weekend Arizona has a big home showdown versus Tennessee. I mean, is it, the letdown look ahead spot?
Sandwich spot coming off the big Indiana win.
Yeah. All right, I'll take the points.
I'm taking the points.
Taking the points. There we go. South Carolina Upstate's heading to Tallahassee. Florida State's fresh off that second win of the season when they put it to Louisville. Take that, Kenny Payne.
Is it rock bottom yet?
Yeah. Hey, this is at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. South Carolina Upstate's getting 13.
13.
I'll take the 13. FSU wins by 8. Nick?
I'm going to go Florida State. I think they're playing a little bit better. Last 3 games, you got the 10-point loss to Purdue, 5-point loss at UVA, and then they beat Louisville, who is probably worse than South Carolina Upstate. But Upstate isn't very good either. So give me the Noles.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm going to ride the Seminoles with you guys as well.
No, I'm not taking them. I'm taking Upstate, buddy.
Well, you're wrong, Colby.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with you, Ryan.
I'm with Nick then. Yeah, I think the Seminoles are playing better.
Look, if you're in Tallahassee and you head upstate, you're going to run into South Carolina. That is why you take South Carolina Upstate. All right?
Sound logic.
No, I'm no geography major here, but sounds like
we South Carolina is north, yeah.
New Orleans. They're heading into Boise, Idaho. This is at the football stadium's Albertsons. This one's called the Extra Mile Arena. That's a little close to Sandusky sounding. What was that, second mile? I don't know. We might need to investigate what's going on here. New Orleans is catching 23 in Boise. Boise's been playing good. New Orleans sucks ass. I'm going to lay the points. Oh, man, it's a lot of points, but I'm going to do it because New Orleans is that bad, I think. They just lost to Portland by 49 points.
No, New Orleans is awful. Dude, their one win is over IUP by 3. But Boise plays, Boise's like a top 10, top 15 ranked defense on Ken Pom. They don't play a brand of basketball where they usually score a ton of points, but I can't take New Orleans, so I'm on Boise.
Mac?
Yeah, no, I agree with Nick there in terms of they're another team that doesn't really blow out teams as much, but you look at what they've done. They haven't lost a game since Charlotte back before Thanksgiving. They're playing good ball right now. In New Orleans is honestly an auto fade territory, so I will take the Broncos as well.
All right, next up, game of the night. Memphis heads into Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Bama's laying 7. Coming off the win against the number 1 ranked team in the nation, the Houston Cougars, in Houston. They come back home. Give me Memphis plus the 7. Let's go. What are you doing here, Moneyline Mac?
This is a tough game to pick because Memphis drilled them last year in Memphis. So revenge angle. I'm going to lean to the Crimson Tide to lay the points here. Memphis also coming off the big win. It's Saturday against Auburn. So two teams coming off big wins, playing good basketball. Looking forward to watching this one. It's going to be a hectic pace.
NC Nick?
Yeah, I think Bama's a better team. I mean, look, they're playing good ball. They got wins over Houston, North Carolina, Michigan State. The only loss was the UConn game in Portland. And Memphis's resume is just not quite there as far as big wins. And their two losses was against St. Louis and against Seton Hall. I was a little hesitant at first because I know last year Bama was so up and down, but I like the freshman forwards they got with Brandon Miller and Noah Clowney. And then the Ohio transfer, Mark Spears, is providing that veteran leadership in the backcourt. So Bama's a better team. They're at home. Roll Tide.
I think everyone's going to be riding Bama. And that is why you go with the Memphis Tigers.
Well, I mean, but both teams are coming off that big win, so it's not
Big
like,
wins,
yeah. I mean, both. You could argue that both those wins were maybe the best two wins of the weekend. So I don't know if it's quite a letdown spot, especially with what Ryan said about what happened last year.
I expect a hectic pace here. Both teams want to get up and down. A lot of athletes in the game, so yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this one.
Yeah. Next up, we don't have a line on this one, but I think we should note that Jim Les and UC Davis are taking on holy names. Holy names.
Could you be
Where
more
the hell's
specific?
that?
That's the name of the institution that I'm seeing here. Holy Names. The last time they played UC Davis, they lost by 60. I don't have a schedule on them besides the fact that they have play UC Davis. Shout out to Holy Names. Colby, not a holy name, as far as I know.
I don't think so.
Pacific is taking on CS Stanislaus. Fucking Santa Claus. Fucking Chris Kringle coming down.
Pretty close to Christmas, guys. I think you got to take the points.
Chris Kringle coming down to Alex Spanos Center. UTSA is at Utah. NC Nick, didn't we see a line on this one earlier?
Yeah, it's 22.
Okay. The Roadrunners are meeping their way into Salt Lake City, getting 22.5. Man, this one on the Pac-12 network. Good luck finding it. They did. I mean, I don't know. This is a big number, but Utah looks really good this year. But you know what? I'm still taking the points. I think Utah might get up early at John Huntsman Center and get it done. Give me the Roadrunners and the points. They covered what was it, the last game UTSA played? They covered
New Mexico.
Yeah, they covered that number. So they treat me good. Give me UTSA. Nick, what are you doing?
I'm going to disagree, actually. I think that Salt Lake City advantage is just, I guess it's huge in basketball and football. I mean, they just whipped Jacksonville State, who I think is better than UTSA by, 41? That's enough for me to lay that big number.
Money line?
I'm going to take UTSA. I don't love it, though. Utah has quietly started building a NCAA tournament resume so far in the non-conference. Obviously, I guess it's not the non-conference with Arizona, but that's their marquee win. But, I mean, drilling Jack State and the Tommies the way they have, Georgia Tech as well. They've been good at home, too. They do have the Holy War on deck.
That's true. On Saturday, the Holy War going on. Portland State heads into Santa Clara. Santa Clara's laying 11. Hey, I took San Jose State the other night as a 9.5-point dog on the money line against Santa Clara. And boom, it hit. Portland State's not as good as San Jose State, but I think they can keep it within 11 points. Give me the Vikings. What did Frank Drebin say in Naked Gun when he was trying to go on a date? He was like, I know a place that has great Viking food, right? Santa Clara. What are you doing here, NC Nick? You going with the Viking food?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to go with the Bronco food. I do like them to bounce back from that loss to San Jose State. So, Portland, I mean, they beat Oregon State twice already. They beat Air Force. They got a couple decent wins, but I think overall Santa Clara is just, head and shoulders better, and they're at home. So give me the Broncos.
Mac?
Yeah, I struggle with this one. I'm going to take the points. Portland State, I think, can keep this within 10. Like you said, they swept to Oregon State. Two of their losses are against Gonzaga and West Virginia. I'll take the points.
I got to get that sound drop from Predator where Schwarzenegger goes, Mac, you son of a bitch.
Nice.
Yeah, next up, Cal Poly. John Madden's alma mater. They head to Seattle. I love how they head to Seattle to the Alaska Airlines Arena.
What the hell's that?
It's like California Angels of Anaheim. Fucking Los Angeles. I don't know. Cal Poly is catching 12.5. Cal Poly's not terrible. They beat Portland State by 23 the other day. You know I'm a John Madden guy here. All right. He's one of the best ever. So I'm gonna take the Mustangs. Let's go. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Cal Poly isn't bad, but I will say I think Washington is a little bit better this year than the last couple of years. I like what Keon Brooks, the Kentucky transfer, is doing there. But I think you're right. I'm going to take the point. Certainly don't love the play, but I think it's a couple too many points. Give me Cal Poly.
Moneyline Mac, what are you doing here?
I'm going to lay it. I actually have been impressed with Washington recently. Coming off the loss to Gonzaga, kind of got away from them in the second half. I'll lay the points. They've been pretty good at home so far this year, other than the Cal Baptist game early in the year.
Yeah. All right. Well, time for the locks here. We're done. The locks for tonight or today, I should say. I am locking up. Man, we didn't have that many locks on the slate here, but I am locking up Coppin State +8 at G-Dub. Lock it up. I'm locking up Furman +6.5 at NC State. I am locking up Marshall -2.5 at UNC Greensboro. Locking up Stonehill +12.5 at Boston College. I'm locking up UMass Lowell -1 at Rhode Island. And I'm locking up Iona -6 at home against Princeton. And I'll even throw in one more. Give me Fairleigh Dickinson +16 at Richmond. Let's go. Let's go. NC Nick, your locks.
All right, let me see if I can recap this and capture all of them. I am taking Furman at NC State. What was that? 6.5? What was that?
Yeah, 6.5.
6.5. I'm taking Marshall -2.5 at UNCG. I am taking Iona -6 at home against Princeton.
Oh, we forgot Southern Miss also. Southern Miss, we all locked up Southern Miss -15.
Yes. Southern Miss, yep. Stonehill plus, what was that again? 12.5. And you mentioned Southern Miss. I think that's it, boys. Yep.
Moneyline Mac, your locks. Fire.
All right. I will lead it off. I got Coppin State +8.5. Sprinkle some on the money line at GW. Furman +6. Sprinkle some on the money line as well at NC State. I'm going to take Lavelle Moton, North Carolina Central +14 at LSU. We're all on Marshall -2.5 at Greensboro. We're going to take Stonehill +12.5 at Boston College. We're going to lay the point at Rhode Island with UMass Lowell, the River Hawks. We're all on Rick Pitino. Richard Pitino's at New Mexico. We're going to take Rick Pitino and the Iona Gaels -6 against Princeton. Southern Miss -15 at Lamar to beat him again. Houston -30 against North Carolina A&T. And I'll add one more. I will lay the points with the Tommies against the Green Bay Phoenix. Let's go.
Oh, there we go.
Let's
all
go,
right,
Tommies.
Subscribe to the college basketball.
Hey, one more thing. We got to do our game balls, Colby.
Oh, that's right. Game balls. That's right.
Yes.
The finals are, do we have Gonzaga's up by 20? Those bastards are not going to cover. Sick of this stuff. Meanwhile,
I'm done with them.
Michael Creighton and the Blue Jays are down 2 to Arizona State with 2 minutes left. So they're battling back. They're hanging tough. Kennesaw State is hanging tough. Well, actually, they're down 14. They might not cover my bet. I don't know, guys. I'm just over here having a cocktail. All right. Game ball number 1. We all have 2. For me, I think it's got to be Columbia. You're a heavy dog. People like us, idiots like us, are writing you off. And what do? I don't even think they trailed in this game. If so, it was early on. They go to Lafayette, and they remind them that they are little bitches. All right? Shout out to Columbia. The Lions get it done. That's my game ball number 1. NC Nick?
I will go with Oral Roberts. Big home win, out of the conference against Liberty, dropping 46 on them in the second half alone. Give me Oral Roberts.
Moneyline Mac?
I'm going to go the team that we all locked up, and it was a sweat, but Yale Bulldogs. I mean, fell down early, 15 early, battled back, and got a good road win, double-digit road win. So shout out to the Yale Bulldogs coming through for us.
Yeah, after that, we're really diving. This is tough. The second one here. Well, it's got to be Philander Smith. They kept it within 40. No, I'm joking.
You can go South Florida.
I think you got to go South Florida because look, they've been in a lot of games this year where they lost their whether it was the Southeast Missouri State game and things are looking really, really shitty in Tampa. And sometimes it's nice to hit the road against a Missouri Valley team where you weren't even favored. You get the dub. Maybe you can build some momentum on that. Give me the Bulls of South Florida pulling a nice road win there. NC Nick, it goes back to you.
Stony Brook getting their first Division I win of the year. Previously, they only had wins over Miami Hamilton and St. Joseph's Long Island, I think. They beat Sacred Heart at home by 7.
Battled back, too. Battled back there. Their character was in question.
Got the heart of a champion.
It's true. Seawolves, baby. What the fuck's a seawolf, Nick?
A wolf that lives by the ocean.
All right. I feel like Alaska's got a lot of seawolves. All right. I just learned something new today. All right. Moneyline Mag, the final game ball of the night.
Yeah, so we should go Texas Longhorns. They got a statement win tonight. No, just kidding. I'm gonna go game that's at halftime right now. I don't know if they're gonna hold on. They're up 23. We gotta go. I'll go Steve Lavin in San Diego, being up on UC San Diego, 44-21 at the break. So pending they actually hold on here. That line was shrinking. So for them to be up 23 at the half, that's impressive.
It's true. Now, if they can hang on.
But,
hey, Steve Lavin, friend of the program. So let's go.
Exactly. If not, we'll go give it to Texas, right?
Yeah, exactly. If not, then give it to Texas for surviving without their next ex-head coach. Folks, subscribe to the college basketball experience. Subscribe to the college football experience. Subscribe to the college baseball experience. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/thecollegeexperience. Check out all of Ryan's work, NFL Gambling Podcast, The Ryan and Rush Show. What are you doing, bozos? Don't forget the Sports Gambling Podcast. They've been covering everything. You know what I mean? The World Cup Gambling Podcast. Check it out. All right? Check it out, folks. NBA Gambling Podcast, NHL Gambling Podcast, NFL Gambling Podcast, as I mentioned before, NHL. All these ones. CFL. They're all out there. Go check them out. All right, folks, hop in the Discord, talk college hoops with the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Until then, tomorrow night, we'll be back. This is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Yeah, it's got me thinking about the good shit. The minute that I seen your grill again, it made me good trip. Good jog the mind back like dog, but wind that. Man, I didn't get mad when you near me hit the can back. But the comings on was strong. Now my shit's coming along, you know the song. The truth is I'm pretty much on fire again. It's heating up for real, I'm alive again.